In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your layout for your Ode to Andy project. Each of your 3 photos is a 5x7 inch photo. We're going to allow for a 1/2 inch of space around the left and right, so we're going to do a total document width of 8 inches, and our document height with these 4 1/2 inch increments is going to be 17 inches. So I'm going to begin by going to File, New, and I'm going to over here make sure this is set to inches. I'm going to set my width to 8, my height to 17. Your resolution should be 300. You want to make sure your color mode is in RGB, and then I'm going to go ahead and just select black for my background so I don't have to go back and paint that. So again, 8 wide, 17 tall, 300, RGB color mode, and black. That will create our new document here. So you take a look at our rulers. We are 8 by 17. Now we're going to be dragging in these layout lines, and in order for them to snap in the right location, we're going to turn our grid on. So I am going to go to Edit, Preferences, and then Guides, Grid, and Slices. So Edit, Preferences, Guides, Grid, and Slices. Inside this menu, I'm going to set up, because we're using 1/2 inch margins, we're going to do a grid line every 0.5 inches. And we don't need the subdivisions. That's going to give you smaller little increments inside of there. So I'm going to set this to 1. So grid lines every 1/2 inch, subdivisions 1. If you want to, you could change the color of the grid lines. I'm going to leave mine in this light gray color. And then if you want, you can also change them to a dash instead of a solid line. So I'll hit OK. They're not currently visible until I go up to View and Show Grid. Now I have that little grid, so you can see that little dash line that's in there. And then I also need to make sure I can snap to these. So I go to View and Snap to, and make sure that Grid is selected. Now when I go to pull out my guidelines, these are going to snap nicely right on top of those guides. So I'm going to pull out guidelines 1/2 inch from the edge, and they'll snap right to those spots. So I'll bring one down to the bottom as well. Now your photo's 5x7, so when you bring this next guideline in, it should line up at 5.5 over here. Should snap in, so because you have a 1/2 inch up top here. And then you go down another 1/2 inch, so now you're at 6. So your next one's going to be at 11, and the last one at 11.5. So you end up with those 3 5x7 boxes that are included in there. And then it's just a matter of placing your photos on here. So you go to File, you go to Place Embedded, you browse for your pictures. So I've got my Ode to Andy color tint pictures in here. So I'm going to select, and I'm going to go back a level there, and I'm going to grab my blue color tinted Jeep, or whatever one you want to put up top. Let's say I put red up top. I'm going to drop that in. If you've done the image size and croppings properly, it should drop right into that spot. And I'll do the same thing. I'll go to File, Place Embedded again, and I'll bring in my green one. Drops right in the center to start with. And last one, File, Place Embedded, my blue Jeep. And then I'll just move that one down. It should snap nicely into those grid lines. Now these grid lines and guides will not print. If you would like to see them without that, you can go up to View and Show, and you can turn off your grid. If you want, you can go back and turn off your guides as well, so you can see more what it's going to look like when you go to print, but you can leave them on as well. When you're ready to print this, and again, I'm not going to spend the time here, but you should go through and you should save this, and you want to save this as a JPEG. If you try to print this document with all these layers in it, this is going to tie up the printer. So first I will save this as a PSD, so I'm just going to say Jeep complete, and I'll keep this as my Photoshop document in case I need to edit it after I print. And then I'll go to File, Save As, and select the JPEG. I'll name it Jeep Complete as well, and hit Save and OK. So I'm going to open up. Again, this is the Photoshop document, so I'll go ahead and close this one. Let me close the other stuff that I have open here. Hit cancel on that, it's fine. And I'll go to open, back to my folder, and I have Jeep Complete, that's the Photoshop document. I want to open up the JPEG. The JPEG should only have one layer in it, and this is what you're going to print. So you go to File, Print. This is larger than the sheet of paper, so you're going to select TechEd Graphics, and you're going to, hopefully this will update to a letter size sheet for me. Alright, there we go. You're going to have to scroll down here, and you're going to say Scale to Fit Media. Your name's going to go on the rubric, so all you're going to do is print this one. So you'll just go to Print. Now, this same layout can be used for your sketch filter examples. So if you want to save yourself some time, I'll show you this. I'm going to open up my Jeep Complete, and I'm going to file, save this as my filter layout. So in the filter layout, I don't want the Jeeps over here, so I'm going to get rid of these Jeep layers. So we'll delete these layers over here just with a right click on them. And then all I have to do is go to File, Place Embedded, and grab my filter examples. So if I want to pop my blue filter example in, Place Embedded again, grab my red filter, move that up, and last the green one. Again, save this and print this. Make sure you print out the rubric when you're all finished. That's it.